Hello, I just wanted to give everyone an update on how quarterly reporting for TreadAct is working. Airstream will start out in the staging area. So here we have some communication still in the staging area. And there's two things that cause that. One is they don't have a NISTA code, so we can go in there and take care of that. So then once you do that, come back here and hit refresh. The other thing that will do that, if you go here, this one does not have a VIN. Has a couple of NISTA codes, but does not have a VIN. So we can take care of that. Oh, that should have been, if that, both of those issues, if it's in the staging area, they will not go to the TreadAct report. Again, come out here, hit refresh. Claims works the same way. I'm just going to do a couple of these newer claims. So here's one that got approved, looks like today. And so if I call up the claim, there's the NISTA code. I want just to pick one. Hit save. Must hit save. So then if I hit refresh, claim 100 is gone. So in reality, this should be cleared out for the current period you're getting ready to run your report. Now let's look at quarterly reporting in TreadAct. Here I have the first quarter 2015. So I'm going to go ahead and do a new quarter. And I'm not going to change the year. When I hit run, this takes about 30-40 seconds to run. So here that's all done, and we can filter for just the reports we want to work with. So let's go ahead and do another quarterly report. Okay, so let's see what's happening here. So on the third quarter, we didn't get any notices. So let's talk about what these notices are. Over in the SQL table, you can see I have 6 reports, and 2 of them have some warnings on them. So what are the warnings? The warnings, if you go over to the audit table, looks like we're missing the category. So since we're missing the category, we're not sure we are correctly maintaining the VIN and VIN history, what category this belongs into. So we may or may not be putting this on the correct TreadAct report. Okay, so let's go back to the web. So here, this is generated let's just look at the first quarter. So here's buses, medium, and heavy vehicles aggregate. So if we open that up and hit save, go ahead and open the folder. So here's the standard report. Here's Here's the report info, which all this comes from SQL, which I know stuff needs updated. This needs to move up to here. Production is a summary analysis from SQL. Consumer complaints, these are down here, so I need to move those up, get those positioned up there. That should be the property damage we don't have yet. Warranty claims, apparently we have one, but we don't have the make and model, so this is probably a data issue. And field reports. So that is a big reason why I built the audit table. And we could write reports against this. So how is this working? I'm going to close that. When Airstream says that I want to create a new report and they put in the period, IronSpeed kicks off this SSIS package. So we have some we have a blank, the 2 Excel sheets from Nista. So we delete those, we copy from here, put it up to here. I know it's backward, but source, destination. And we do that with both files. So every time we start out, we're starting out with a blank file. Then we set the rev number. So a rev number gets set out here if there's been a transmission like we have here, and it will create a new rev number if you for some reason need to regenerate this quarterly report, and we can do that. Also note when a transmission has taken place, the status of that transmission will pop in here. So if there was some sort of error, you'll get notified that there was an error and an error message. So now you can see here, the revision has now 2. And to make all that happen, that all takes place in this data flow. Here's a more simple data flow, and the fact that I know it looks like a lot going on, but all it's really doing is taking a row of data, making it into columns. So all of this comes out as horizontal from SQL. We need it vertical to fill in this guideline. So it over here does look kind of complicated, but once it gets all union together, it's really not that big a deal. Let's see what's next. Okay, post complaints. Here, this is running through the complaints that match the period and the period. It gets the year It uses the year and the quarter of the date entered. So we have some couple conversion things going on. We do a lookup. Making sure the periods match. So we get to a point where we start calculating how it's going to be grouped, because this is part of how SSIS summarizes them and then turns them horizontal. It's called a pivot. But so we multicast the data out. So we do update the complaint that is what reporting period it's falling into. We also go ahead and post it to the audit trail simultaneously, so we know exactly what records make up this report. This summarizes the data and then gets it all taken apart, and then it updates one of the two spreadsheets we're working on. Claims works pretty much the same, except I don't have it posting to the header yet, but I'm questioning the value of doing that now. So we start out with the warning claims, make sure to get the right period. If that's the case, we sort it, or I'm sorry, we replicate the data. We put copies of the claims in the audit trail. The only thing is we might want to do, which I probably should do, is have the operation number also saved, because a claim could be on the same report more than once. Now the multicast, this goes on and summarizes, pivots, gets everything separated back out, and creates and puts it to the claims tab of either the two spreadsheets. Production. Production is where we have a lot of work to do about the brake systems and all that. But we created a view, VV Tread Production. We can take a quick look, see what that is. Good. To design. So it's pulling from VIN history and SO parameters, and everything is related to CET tread vehicle types, which this will probably have to change a little bit, but it goes out and summarizes the production activity, and this should pull just the last production years. And it does. Right there. Okay, so done with that. I'm going to say no. Now, one other thing on the post-production is, again, it can post to other spreadsheets, but if it doesn't find a spreadsheet to go to, it doesn't post it onto the report. But we should probably change that, because the other two tabs, what we did is said if you didn't fit into a category, go ahead and go into the buses spreadsheet. So what this does, it seems to do a lot, but not really. All this does is set up the header table. Edit 200. So you can see this is what's really putting it together, and it even puts a copy of the appropriate spreadsheet in the download column. You can see it does quite a bit. The next thing this one does is it goes through and of all the detail, audit detail that we have, it puts it to the right report. So now that we have this audit trail, we got to make sure it goes to the right report. Now here is where we start checking for some warnings. So I limit, I get my audit table. I want to look for improper categories. And if there is a warning, I'll do some more stuff. But if the category is marked not sure, put missing category in my warning. I'll just leave the warning null. But if there are warnings, it will update the audit detail. It'll also run through and summarize all the reports if there's a warning on them. And that comes into play, that's what drives this. And IronSpeed hides this row if there are no warnings. Like this one here has no warning. So let's see what, we know that they were missing categories. This is something, another data flow if we need it, but I'm not using it at this point. The last thing this does is it goes through and updates the header table if when it updates the reporting table and lets it know that the status complete. This tells IronSpeed that SSIS is done. So this is something Jim and I have worked out and able to replicate. So that's kind of a very, very overview perspective of what's going on to make this quarterly reporting for the TRED Act work.